Hey YouTube, Dan here, coming here with a collection video. What I'll be showing really is my graphic novel collection. It's not massive at all, but it's a start, as well as a few other bits and bobs that I've got on my shelf here. What we'll do is we'll start first off at the top. What we have here is my sort of collection of miniature Batmobiles, so I can focus on that. These come as part of like a magazine collection. I'm not planning on getting them all, just purely the ones which I really like. So you've got the one from the '66 TV show there, as well as the sort of the staple one of the '70s, of the '80s. Got the one from the '89 Tim Burton film, which is my favourite. Got the tumbler from the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. Got the one introduced in 2000, and I got the one from the animated series, which I was a big fan of back in the day. The next shelf down is just my my sort of bagging and boarding bit there, and then moving on to my graphic novels. Let's get this focused. Right. So starting at the end here, we've got Judge Dredd, the Complete Case Files, Volume 1. It's a good introduction to the character. This is the very first stories that featured him. As a lot of people mention, it has aged somewhat in terms of the art, the story, the writing and so on. But it's a good little history lesson. Moving on then, we've got a couple of Mark Millar books here. If you're a fan of Kick-Ass, or say like Jupiter's Legacy, then it might be worth checking some of these out. Superior, that's something which I think is quite underrated. It's like his stuff, it's got a really good high concept to it, but unlike things like Nemesis and Kick-Ass, it's a little bit more mature. Nemesis itself, again, high concepts, sort of giving you sort of story about what if there was a Batman style hero but he was a villain. Really violent, pretty brutal, indulging some of Miller's excesses there, but still pretty good. They're supposedly making a film about this, but it's been a while in the making. Then I've got the first Serenity graphic novel, Those Left Behind. I'm a big fan of Firefly the TV show and Serenity the film, so it was kind of it was obvious I was going to have to try and pick these ones up as well, so I do need to pick the next one up of that. Then we've got Watchmen. Everyone knows Watchmen. I'm sure everyone's either read it or seen the film or at least heard something about it. But yeah, not really much needs to be said about that. Then we've got Kick-Ass. I would rather get this in hardcover. I'm planning on getting Kick-Ass 2 and Hit Girl as well, both in hardcover, so I need to get the hardcover of this to sort of match up with them as well. Again, great comic. I've got to admit, I kind of prefer the film. Purely, I think the film's got a bit more heart to it, but the comic is still pretty good as well. Looking forward to Kick-Ass 3, which is in the issue 1 is actually already out now. So then we move on to the very first comic I ever got, which was Kevin Smith's Tales from the Clerks. A big Kevin Smith fan, and I love the two Clerks films as well, so I can't wait for the third film. But yeah, these are great little stories. If you like any of those films, then you'll certainly like these. Things like finally telling you all about Walt Flanagan's dog and stuff. So pretty good. 100 Bullets. That was the second graphic novel I ever bought. Bought this one years and years ago before I really started collecting these seriously. I just thought the concept sounded quite cool. Very good. Love the writing in it. Really cool. Lovely. Quite striking artwork in it as well, so certainly worth checking out. Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. Yeah, this was pretty good. I like the idea is this one sets hundreds and thousands of years before any of the 6 films so far, showing you the very beginnings of the Jedi. No, it's fairly light on plot. It's more just like a quick series of fight scenes, to be honest, but it's still interesting enough, and I will check out the second one. Moving in, we've got Focus. We've got Saga, Volume 1. Yep, definitely lives up to the hype. Everyone goes on about how awesome it was, so I had to pick it up, and yeah, they're all right. It's absolutely wicked. So my intention with that one is to pick up the second volume and also start buying it in single issues when the little hiatus is over. Then we go on to this is all my DC stuff. I've got a few New 52 paperbacks. Got Green Lantern Sinestro. I do need to pick up a lot of the older Green Lantern stuff. Basically the whole Jeff Johns run. That's my plan. Then we've got Justice League Origin. If anyone says, you know, it's not possible to do a Justice League movie, or how do we do it, just adapt that bloody book. You know, Justice League Origin. If you adapted that into a film, you know, pretty much, you know, scene for scene, it would probably come up about 30 minutes long. Then you've got another 2 hours you could just do for character development and introducing the characters in a more detailed way, more action scenes. Just turn that into a film. There you go, job done. Then you've got Justice League Dark. This one is being made into a film. It's Guillermo del Toro is working on it. He of Hellboy fame and stuff. Really looking forward to the potential of that one. But yeah, this book's really cool. Quite out there and really pretty strange, and quite dark in places, but certainly worth a look, especially if you're into things like you know, Hellblazer and so on. Then you've got Batman Year One. You know, this was the first graphic novel I got, which really showed me just how, you know, amazing, you know, graphic novels can really be. You know, it served as a big inspiration for Christopher Nolan when he was working on Batman Begins, and it does show. But absolutely terrific story, exactly how origin story should be dealt with. And then you've got Frank Miller's other sort of masterpiece, which is Dark Knight Returns. Again, well, whereas Batman Year One focuses on the very beginnings of Bruce Wayne's career, this one is set in the future, you know, towards the end of it. Yeah, so this is still set in the future, even, you know, on normal comics these days, they still haven't reached this point yet. Then we've got my New 52 hardcovers. We've got Batman Court of Owls, Scott Snyder really showing everyone how it's done. Absolutely terrific, and I need to pick up the second volume, that's out now. Then we move on to Superman, What Price Tomorrow. That's pretty good. I'm more interested really to see what Scott Snyder does with him when Superman Unchained comes out, because it's I really want Superman just to have a little bit more of an edge. And then we've got Earth 2. You know, great to see characters done in a different way. It does start out with some pretty bold choices, you know, in terms of the plot, and you know, it's really, really cool. Moving on down here, got my my little Gundam figure there. Got the Question as a chess piece. I've only got this because when they've got these chess collections, they did a Batman one first, and then they're now doing a Justice League one. So with the first piece of the Justice League set, which is Superman, there, he came free with the Question. Obviously, I hadn't collected the Batman one, so I had no choice but to pick this up just to get him. But now, whoops, we've got Green Lantern, we've got Wonder Woman, we've got a personal favourite of mine, which is Deathstroke. Really, really cool. We've got the chessboard behind it, so I'm looking forward to sort of completing that set. They should look pretty smart when they're finished. Going down here, we've got the other sort of big part works collection I'm collecting, which is the Ultimate, so the Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection. Show you the whole wide thing there. At the moment, I've got 38 books there. The collection will run at a total of 60, and then you've got this big huge mural on the side of it, which will eventually obviously be completed there, and it's looking pretty good. What this collection really does is it spans about the last 30 years, focusing on some of the best stories that Marvel have done since then. So this is all the books are in chronological order of release, starting at number 1 there, which is the if you can get that out there, the Demon in a Bottle storyline from Iron Man, and it just goes up in order there. So what we have is the Dark Phoenix saga, Captain Britain, which I'm led to believe is the only time Alan Moore actually wrote anything for Marvel. So it's certainly worth a look at purely for that reason. We've got Chris Claremont's Wolverine there, which is serving as the inspiration for the new Wolverine movie coming out. Thor: The Last Viking. Superhero Secret Wars Part 1. Still waiting for issue 7, which will give me Part 2. We've got Daredevil Born Again by Frank Miller. Birth of Venom for Todd McFarlane on art there. Then we've got Craven's Last Hunt. Hulk Silent Screams. A personal favourite of mine here, which is Marvel's, which I had to go and get in single issue on the strength of this. Avengers Forever Part 1 and Part 2. Got Thor and Search for the Gods. Punisher, Welcome Back Frank, Part 1. Still waiting for Part 2 on that. Ultimate Spider-Man, Power and Responsibility. And then Amazing Spider-Man, Coming Home. New X-Men, Ease for Extinction. X-Men Imperial. Really cool one here, Spider-Man Blue. Wolverine Origin. Captain America The New Deal. The Ultimates, Superhuman. Again, waiting for the second part of that. Fantastic Four Unthinkable. Secret War. Avengers Disassembled. She-Hulk, Single Green Female. Terrific name. We've got Whedon's Astonishing X-Men Gifted. Astonishing X-Men Dangerous. House of M. There you go. The Avengers Breakout. We've got Iron Man Extremis, part of the basis for Iron Man 3. And then you've got Captain America Winter Soldier, part of the basis for Captain America the Winter Soldier. And you've got Planet Hulk Parts 1, Part 2. Blowing out space here. Got Marvel Zombies. Thor Reborn. And lastly, Captain America The Chosen. The last few things on my shelf, just got the Fight Club novel there, just filling in a gap. Got the Amazing Spider-Man sort of Essentials Volume 3 there. Picked that up because it was only a £5, and that features the Spider-Man No More sort of famous issue, which is the basis for Spider-Man 2. And then you've got the Avengers, that's the Marvel Masterworks one. Again, got that for a £5, collecting the first few issues of Avengers. Great little bit of history there. Going down, got my short box, and next to it just a few bits and bobs. Got all my some of my magazines, my part work stuff. So say the DC chess collections are in there. Got this this lovely Game of Thrones book. Got this super cheap, which it just looks absolutely cool as hell. And then lastly, I've got my DC sort of year by year encyclopedia. At the bottom is just a bunch of, you know, novels and stuff. Yep, so that's it. That's my collection at the moment. Looking forward to getting, you know, plenty more stuff when I complete my my Marvel collection there. And there's so many more graphic novels I'm looking to get. So this is the start. This is about a year's worth of collecting there. And looking forward to seeing where I get in the next few years. So thanks very much for watching, and take care.